Our next guest to this roast has been a member of Voces Latinas for about 4 years now. And from what he told me, he was probably the one person that couldn't wait to get rid of Laura. I have a few tools for you to begin to Please welcome Carlos Guerra.
Wow, thank you very much. What a fine night. Laura, Dander, Danza, whatever they call you. Laura, one thing about Laura, well, actually many things about Laura, is that she's funny, she's talented, she's intelligent, she's warm, and consistently sunny. Other than that, she doesn't impress me at all. And the first time when Laura walked into one of our Voces Latinas meeting, and I shared with Margo wasn't there that night, and I showed her, I said, well, what do you think about the new girl? I said, honey, I don't know, all I saw was hair and teeth. Really, Laura, we do love you. You're from your hometown, Santa Fe, Texas, right? Is that supposed to be better? Laura, unfortunately, Laura's friends all of Laura's friends could not be here tonight. Some of them said they just didn't have the time, and the other half said they're serving time. And coming from the town that you're from, we understand. These things that we appreciate about Laura, one you will hear is primarily at the top of the list, and that's that she's a pescatarian. And my question to a pescatarian is, well, yeah, they eat the little fish in the sea and all the other mariscos and all that other stuff that goes with them. But I think turtles confuse pescatarians. Because turtles walk on land, but they also go into the ocean. So I'd like to, the turtles, what do they do for you? I proved my point! In one of her first speeches, Laura, she shared with us some of the things that Nancy talked about, is that her vast expanse of knowledge, I mean, it all fits in that database in her head. And she shared with us in a speech that she was a valedictorian, and I was a valedictorian. So I asked my good friend Arturo, whom I consider to be a genius, and I said, what does it mean to be a valedictorian? And he says, well, I think it means that she gets to say what she wants, y le vale. One of the other things that Laura has done, especially around me, is that she's always out to prove just how dim I am. We went to the Huntington Library one time to have lunch with her and her boy toy. And as we were walking the Huntington Library, I had a map of where everything was, and she would walk up to a really nice relic, and she says, oh, Carlos, do you know what this is? I said, no, please share it with me. And she would just turn around and walk away. It was a good thing my wife was there to go ahead and hug me when I cried. I needed a lot of hugging that day. And the other nice thing about Laura is that on her cell phone, she has everyone's phone numbers, and she calls her boy toy. She calls him my sexy. The little nickname she has for me is actually Mencito. In fact, when I call her phone, the caller ID says Mencito is calling. You need to fix that. And really the final thing I do want to say about Laura and the officers, we all know this. And it's going to scare you a little bit because Laura is the email cucuy. She's a boogeyman of emails. Okay? I start sweating, perspiring like I'm getting malaria when she sends me an email, and it's not just one email, but it's like several dozen emails after that, saying the same thing. Right. And upon the suggestion of Arturo said, you know, it was his suggestion. He says, why don't we, the other officers, make bets as to how many emails we receive from Laura each week. And I got to tell you, I didn't think it was fair, nor was it right that Aniceris would win most of the bets. I don't get it. Another interesting fact about Laura is that she has something in common with President George Bush. No, it's not the hair. It's not also the inability to speak. It's the fact that she's a teetotaler. I know. What the heck's a teetotaler? And a teetotaler is someone who, after heavy and prolonged use, now abstains from alcohol. I'm really glad you pulled through. Now if we can get you to abstain from emails, we'll be all set. And the last thing I want to share with you is one more pescatarian story, is that one time she visited with my wife and I at our house, and we said, Laura, why don't you come to the store with us? We're going to go get something to eat. And we walked by the meat section, and she started to cry. She stood there sobbing. I was like, well, what's the matter? What's the matter? She goes, well, look, I don't eat meat because they slaughter these poor animals, and my God, and what they do to them. And then I said, well, take a look at some crabs over there. So she looks at the crab tank, all full of crabs, and she yells to the butcher, kill them all! Kill them! But Laura, it has been a pleasure, really. You're a good friend to me and Margot, and I know that with Tony and you and together, we're going to form a very long-lasting relationship. You're not going away, and we really appreciate you, and I really, my heart goes to you. Yeah.